welcome to the Influence Women's webinar tonight, How to Be a Star on Zoom. You know, this is going to be just kind of a fun night. We've all gone through COVID, of course, together, and we are Zoomed out sometimes. But it's amazing how our industry has changed and how we are now being interviewed for jobs on Zoom. We are auditioning as never before on Zoom. We are even getting more clients and trying to engage with our clients through business on Zoom even more. So tonight we've got a great actress and Broadway star with us tonight to teach us how to do it correctly. We'll probably fumble around a little bit because we're just going to have some fun, but we want you to join in. I encourage you to take out a piece of paper and a pencil or paper and pen to be able to write some notes down. I think you're going to want to write some notes down and be able to use this webinar to its fullest. Okay, so I'm going to get right to it here and bring Renee in, but I'm going to tell you just a little bit about her. I think you'll have fun knowing who she is. You may have seen Renee in her recent role as Catherine Cryer in Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots on the OWN network. She's also a seasoned theater actress and has performed with the Broadway national tour of Wicked as the midwife and Madame Morrible. She's also appeared on Broadway in Disney's Beauty and the Beast as the Egg Timer, Mrs. Potts, and Madame de la Grande Bruche. Renee is a motivational speaker as well, and she's a very well-respected speakers coach. She offers keys to having confidence with her coaching program called Presentational and Public Speaking Skills from the Conference Room to the Convention Hall. Renee released her first gospel CD in 2002 and won a Best Actress Award at the Creation Film Festival for her performance in They Came and Left. Renee is active with her family legacy organization, helping children in Zambia receive clothing, education, and medical attention while learning about Christ and his love. She also serves as an active and wonderful member of our Influence Women's Advisory Board. We're so happy to have her. So Caitlin's going to bring her on right now, and Renee, come on and join us. It's so fun to have you with us tonight to teach us. You've been a friend and a confidant for many years. Love having you with us. So Renee, you know, hi. I just read your bio, all those, you know, important facts that you have.
Thank you.
We want to know a little bit about who you really are. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into theatrical acting, why you're so passionate about making others look great and to be a star themselves.
You know, I tell people, I think I acted and sang my way out of the womb. And I never thought as a child that I would grow into this profession, even though I went from the church, the birthing table to the church pew, and I was the loudest person singing in choir, and I was in all the church plays and all the school things. I grew up in a small town in Oak Ridge, Tennessee until I was 9 years old. And those people were like, we didn't have reality television. We had 3 TV channels. We had to walk across the living room to change, you know, and I just didn't think small town people, now I got older and everybody did, but I just didn't think people like me actually did that. And it wasn't till I got into high school and I was in orchestra and I was in choir and I was still acting and singing that I realized, wait, I can actually do this as a career. Wow, this is incredible. And I thought I wanted to be a singer. I mean, I still am a singer, and I thought I wanted to go into opera, but my heart was always in, you know, acting as well. And I remember my sophomore year of college, we were doing Guys and Dolls. So I'm saying this for a reason. And I was downstairs in the dressing room and the whole cast was there with our director. And I said, you know, but I really want to do television and film. I love doing theater too. Can I do both? And my director said, you can sing, doll. Get yourself on the stage and then everything else will fall in line. And that's exactly what happened. You know, went from college, I did theater. And then I happened to go online one day and click yes to an audition. And next thing I know, I'm a series regular on Tyler Perry's The Have and Have Nots. But, post COVID, and we're going to talk about this later. And even before that, when I was in New York doing theater, I worked a lot of events and a lot of conferences. That's how I paid my bills during the downtime. And I would constantly see speakers from doctors, attorneys, motivational, everything. But the one thing that I would be in the background going, and I always felt like I would be sometimes, and I would watch these people go, I feel like everybody's thinking about their tea time, not, the speaker.
Right.
And I just thought, actors should be working with these people. And now that we're in the self-tape industry, even more so. And I'm still surprised in this day and age, even how many actors still don't know what to do. And I'm thinking, this is like your headshot and resume all in one. This is who you are. But I'm sorry, I jumped ahead into what we're going to talk about. More about me. I'm a diehard football fan. The University of Tennessee is now officially today #1 in the top 25 for the national championship. And I'm very happy about this.
Yes. Well, my OU team is not doing well this year, so
I'm usually in orange. I'm surprised I didn't wear orange to this event today. So.
Well, the world has changed, so much since COVID. I mean, we are on Zoom all the time. I'm zoomed out half the time, but it's that necessary evil, isn't it, these days? And so if we can learn how to communicate well through Zoom, then we can nail some of those jobs. We can break through the clutter that's out there, that's auditioning out there, and really make ourselves shine. So I know you have some tricks up your sleeve, and I know you want to get to it. So tell us a little bit what some of our best practices are in order to be a star on Zoom.
I'm hoping I'm going to get all these in order right. The first and foremost, you want to have excellent lighting. Most of us are very familiar with the ring light. And that is a kind of a smaller version, but they come in, 18, 20-ish, but the big ring light, and you can see in the middle of that, and that stand, by the way, goes up and down. But most of us now can film. The average actor or business person can do stuff and film on their iPhone. Some people do it on an iPad. They make clicks for that. Some people have cameras. Yeah, that's wonderful. But the average person has their phone. But we've gotten to the point we need more than that ring light. I purchased what I call a photography kit long before long before COVID hit, long before self-tapes was actually a norm. And this lighting kit I use in conjunction with that ring light. And it comes with 3 different backdrops, although you can buy separate backdrops. I bought a gray one and a blue one, and I don't use the umbrellas that much, but box lighting I use all the time. That entire setup, and that whole setup is only $152 on Amazon, which to me, we spend more on that on headshots. So this is your calling card. You need to have a good setup. I have 2 box lights and a ring light, but I also have, for different things, not all things, I have 2 square lights. Now mine happen to be, these are on Amazon. They are not very expensive, but you just Google, photography lighting, and all of this will come up. But I want to say that I have these box lights because with the ring light, it sometimes can be too much. And the box lights mute it. It keeps the glare, it keeps the glow, it keeps the shine off your face, because a lot of people also don't know I've got a pretty good distance between me and that ring light. Now in a minute you're going to see a little bit more of that ring light. I'm going to show you something. But also with all these lights, not everybody, a lot of people wear glasses. And I wanted to say, if you wear glasses, you can still have all this and you see a glare. But if you just tilt them up on your head, just a hair, then that glare goes away. So in addition to the lighting, we need backdrops, but I'm going to hold on a second on that before I jump into that. Another key thing that is my number one pet peeve when I get on any Zoom call. Now, for an actor, our sight lines are not directly into camera. We're usually sitting or standing, but we're looking just off camera at our reader or the person on the computer. But to do a general interview on Zoom or a class or hold a business meeting, whatever that is, eye lines, I just can't stand it when everybody's always looking down like this. We're always looking down. And most Zoom calls are looking at the bridge of our nose, including the person. So I use these adjustable heights. I don't even know what you call that. An adjustable height angle. It's a computer holder. I don't even know what I call that, but it's an adjustable computer holder. And I have it all different heights, and I can adjust my screen, and by how I sit back, that my eye line is straight out. It's not up, although if you have a desktop, you won't need this, but you still need to make sure your eye lines aren't looking up at the ceiling and you're not looking down. And speaking of ceiling, when I talked about lighting, if you have an overhead light or a can light in your ceiling or a chandelier, whatever, make sure that that is not in the view of your screen, because it comes out like a starburst and it's very annoying. So that's also, but now we're going to go into, and let me stop there before I go into this next thing. All of these things show immediately you mean business. As an actor, it shows that you're a professional. As a businessman, it shows that you realize this is your business. As an interviewer or whatever, doctors don't think about this. They don't think about it. They don't have to, because you're going to them. But to me, especially if you're a corporate executive and you're having to do online meetings, it is very important that these things are in place. Now, granted, you're not going to go probably a whole lighting kit if you're a corporate executive, but lighting is key. If they can't see your face, if they can't see your eyes, what's the use to having the call? And let me show you one time. Now I'm going to show you another trick, and I'm going to jump ahead of you probably a little bit on this, Kathleen. I have another number one pet peeve. When we do Zoom calls, if you have to, for whatever reason, whether you're got to go to the bathroom or you're not the one talking, make sure you click the mute button. It's in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. If you have to get up for any reason, move around. Nobody wants to see your ceiling. Nobody wants to see all that. Stop the video. You can hear just fine. And that's just imperative, because especially if you're in a group Zoom, it's distracting to the whole group, and people's eyes are immediately going to go to you, and they're going to go to anyone who's doing anything in the group except what the speaker's doing. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But before I show you this next thing, the last thing I want to talk about, the actual framing of a Zoom call, is your backdrop. Now, I have done this particular positioning for a reason today. I happen to be in my living room. I probably won't do an audition in here. I mean, I do auditions in here, but I probably won't do an audition with this backdrop. But the key thing about this, there is nothing back here that is distracting. Maybe you want to see the whole picture, or maybe you don't like that I'm sitting between the two shots, but you want to make sure that there is nothing behind you. And I'm even talking a clock on the wall, because you don't want someone looking at the time, or a picture of your family or something, like people are going to go, where was that taken? Oh, did they have kids? Look at all those grandkids, everything. For instance, I'm Kathleen, referring to you. You're kind of sitting, I think, in your husband's office right now, and you can see all the trophies behind you, but they're kind of muted. But I know when your husband, Phil Cook, everybody needs to follow him, comes online a lot of times and does his little podcast, etc. He's got it a little bit more lit, and you see bookshelves, but he's far enough away from it that there's no one thing that's going to take my eye, because I'm that person that's going to wonder who's in the picture, who wrote that book, what is this? You want to have as little distraction in the background at all. And you go, oh, but I have this show poster. Well, I know there's one back there, but I can't make it out because I'm going to wonder, did they do that show? Who was in that show with them? And I have now I've completely lost you. You might be telling me how to cure cancer and I don't hear it. So now I'm going to show you one really important thing, specifically actors. Okay, so I'm keeping the sound on. I'm going to turn my video off. And I'm sorry if that makes noise because I hate rattling noises in Zoom calls. I know. That's another
You're doing
thing.
great, Renee. You're doing
Don't
great.
open the candy wrappers. You know how they tell you in the theater,
Yes.
don't open candy. My phone right now is on vibrate. I should have turned it off and it's going like crazy right now. And but I tried to makeshift what I'm getting ready to do right now.
Yeah.
And so I hope this works today. So I hope this works. And of all days, my cat decided to join me. And she usually never does. Usually she's like, oh, I don't know what you're doing. Mom, I could care less what you're doing. But today she is like annoying me. So if she starts crying, I'm sorry. So I'm going to turn my camera back on. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I did this. And so I'm normally not wrinkled and this is hanging straight down behind me. As you can see, I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at myself. I'm a little closer to the screen than I normally am. But this is how I do 99% of my Zoom calls. It is also how I do all of my auditions. I also have a gray one. And like I said, with auditioning, your sight lines are off screen. As an actor, whether you have this kit that has a drop in the back, they come in 6 foot wide or 8 foot wide. You showed us a slide earlier, and those are travel screens, green or blue, either one is fine. They can fit behind your chair. I am amazed at how many actors do not have this in place. Now, if you've got a perfectly great wall, a clean gray or blue or something wall, just a solid color, not white, that you can use, knock yourself out. I usually have a picture on all my walls, so I haven't got that dedicated space right now.
Yeah.
So it's very important for a good background and nothing that is going to be distracting at all. And I'm going to back this chair up a little bit if I can. Oh, good. Now I feel so much better. Sorry, you can see the folds, but you understand the gist.
No, it's good. It's good to see it. It makes it real. Yeah, I love it.
And now you can see the transition. But just the simple thing of turning the video light, you didn't see me doing headstands and climbing out. And like right now,
this is a learning webinar, so we're just all learning.
Exactly. With regard to just general Zoom calls and stuff, I have you on speaker mode, which in the top right-hand corner of your screen is view. Now, that's because I only want to look at you. I don't want to look at everybody else on the screen because that's when you see people doing the Brady Bunch dance. You know how here's a story and they all started looking, and that's what happens on Zoom. I call it the Brady Bunch dance. We're not going to do the Brady Bunch dance. So I think I pretty much, I think I've covered everything. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. I mean, you really did cover so much and so many good tools that we can get. And in order to do it well, Renee, I think we do have to purchase those right tools.
Yes.
In order to cut through. There's hundreds and hundreds of actors auditioning for one role. And so if you really want to stand out and you really want to do it well, then you need to be lit. You need to have it correctly, the background behind it that's not going to distract. So these are all good tips and rules that we need to be going by. So great job in that. It's not only for actors though, Renee, but we also have a lot of people who are in business who are trying to get that next client, or we are trying to interview for a job. And so all of these things that could be distracting from an audition point of view are also distracting from a business point of view or from a job interview.
And I can honestly 100% tell you, because so many people are working from home, especially when you're doing a job interview or you're a consultant and you're trying to sell yourself to a client or sell a product, whatever that is. I guarantee you the average business person does not have this set up.
Yeah.
Person interviewing does not have this setup. And I'm not taking, if you're just doing an interview, we're going to be working in an office. I'm sorry, my sight lines are gone because I moved my chair up. So I'm getting all nervous about that. But if you're doing that, you want to stand out.
Right.
So you can even go to Best Buy now and buy that ring light. Okay. You can set your office up. You can take things off your shelves and just have a minimal few things behind there. You can make sure that you're lit properly. Don't, biggest pet peeve are actors, and they do it all the time in Zoom calls. Yeah, some people only live in a studio apartment, but I don't want to see your messed up bed behind you. I don't want to see you in your kitchen with your dirty dishes. Make your bed, hang your clothes up, whatever. If you're a businessman, you know, I know we all saw the video of the poor man, the newscaster or whatever was doing the call, and his 3-year-old came in on the bike. I mean, things like that happen, and it's very funny.
Or the girl that went to the bathroom on Zoom.
The girl that went to the bathroom. Oh, dear Lord, I can't even imagine that. But it's just surprising to me with Zoom is here to stay.
It is.
Whether we like it or not. And we need to, it is a tool of the trade. It is now a requirement. And like I said, a ring light is not expensive. These square lights on Amazon is like, you know, all I did in COVID was add to cart. So I'm here to say,
got to do it well. You got to do it right.
Got to do it well.
Got to do it well.
Right. Now, I'm not talking about microphones. You have a microphone because Bill does podcasts. It's not that necessary. However, if you're in a noisy environment, if you're doing, Kathleen, a Zoom, and Phil's doing a Zoom at the same time, you don't want to hear each other. So that's when you put in your headsets. You put in, you know, the over the earphones, whatever. If you've got the cording, I like to put it behind your neck so people don't see this cord lagging. But if it's got the microphone on it, you may not have any choice. And I understand
because it's a distraction again.
Distraction, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but so that's why I don't feel like you need to go buy a microphone right now.
Yeah. Well, Renee, you know, we study futurists here at Cook Media Group and what we do with our production company. And I know that the futurists are telling us before COVID, they were telling us that the leaders of the future are going to be leading online. And of course, when COVID hit, that just accelerated it tremendously. And so it's not good. You're right. It's not going to go away. So we need to learn how to use this tool and be able to communicate well. That's what God calls us to do. We can be the best actor or actress or best person for the job. But if we have all these distracting things going on around us, it's not going to show us as a professional actor or a professional business person. It's going to show us that we are kind of behind the line a little bit. And that's not where God calls us to be. I think God calls us to be our very, very best in what we do and who we are. And so, you know, one thing as a full-time actor.
Oh, I've just lost you. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, no worries. As a full-time actress that I was for many, many years, I know that when you are in an audition situation that you have a couple things that you are constantly having to deal with. One of which is a redirection. So you get on with your casting director and you do your role, but then he says, well, can you do it a different way? Or you can do that. Can you share with us a little bit? Should we take a moment back? How do we prepare for those redirections so that it doesn't look awkward? Because, you know, we're right there in your face. How do you deal with the redirections?
I'm going to treat a Zoom just like I would do it in the room. I'm going to take a minute. If the redirection is pick up the pace, do everything you just did, just do it faster, then yeah, you can go right into it. That's nothing. But if it's completely a redirection and we should always have another choice in our back pocket, but that other choice may not be their choice. So you are going to have to take, and let me tell you, you know what that minute does or that moment does? It calms your nerves.
Yeah.
It lets you breathe. They have asked you for a redirection. You say, can you give me a minute?
Yeah. And it shows you professional.
Right. You sit there. Please do not turn around and jump right off the bat because that goes, please God, I need this job. No, you don't want that, you know, and the redirection is key.
Yeah.
Take a moment, breathe, prepare, listen to what they said, absorb it, pretend like you're in an acting class. You're not in an audition. And your teacher just said, do it this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And you know, Renee, I think a lot of times too, we get intimidated with that redirection. We think, oh, we're not good enough, or we missed the mark already. And so I believe that when you're asked to redirect, they're seeing something in you. They're seeing the potential there, and they like what you're doing. So they want you to do it a different way, or they want to see a little bit more. And a redirection is actually, to me, a very positive comment that can be done, and a step that a casting director can do, rather than a negative one. So,
and it also shows you can take direction.
yes,
That's
absolutely.
sometimes what they're looking for. Can you take direction?
Absolutely. Now, also, what about costumes? I know as an actress doing commercials, sometimes if I was to be a doctor, they'd want me coming in a lab coat. I did lots of commercials coming in bathing suits for, on the beach kind of things, or exercise equipment, that kind of thing. They want you in, your sweats or something.
Right.
How do you deal with that on Zoom right now? If they're wanting you to do some kind of costume or some kind of, attire for a cerertain thing,
Well,
how do you deal with that?
It's back like I did it in the room. The only difference in an on one more time, the only difference in an online audition, a Zoom audition, or a self-tape, the only difference is they're seeing you from the waist up, but then they do ask you to do a full body slate. The only other difference is you would have walked in the door. So you're going to walk in the door with the lab coat. You're going to do your audition in a lab coat. I just had to do a commercial audition, and she had to be this eccentric, over the top woman. I went in my closet and found every eccentric thing I could do. Now, on a theatrical level, sometimes theater people don't have to do that much, because they know wigs and costumes and makeup happen. So for whatever reason, in the theatrical world, please don't have any casting directors listening to this.
Yeah.
They have a more imagination.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Casting directors in television and film have zero imagination.
Yeah.
They want to see you show up looking the way you should have. For instance, another key thing, costumes and makeup. So like, I'm wearing a bright color because I want to stand out. But if I was trying to be probably executive, I would have a jacket on, maybe this blouse, but it would take it down a lot. If I have, and I wear eyelashes because it's hard to see my eyes. Okay. Not because I'm trying to be glamorous, but if I'm also playing somebody who's from the country, who's blue collar or something, I may not put eyelashes on that day.
Right. Yep.
So I'm going to wear makeup that is appropriate for the character, but powder is essential. I mean, even right now I can see me doing a little shining because I just absorb powder really quickly. But costumes and makeup, like a businessman, wear your boxer shorts from the waist down, but have that suit and tie from the waist up. Same thing, but when we have to slate, many times a slate is in the acting world where you just say your name and where you're from, and they usually want to see a full body shot. Well, you probably don't want to be in shorts and flip-flops. You want to show them a nice full body shot.
But the slate is so important, isn't it? It's
extremely.
The statistics tell us in person that we decide within 4 to 8 seconds whether or not we're going to listen to someone. And when we're flipping through the channels on our television with our remote controls, it takes us about 1 to 2 seconds to switch the channel. And so here we are on Zoom on a very tight camera. That casting director or that director is going to turn you on or off pretty fast. Exactly. And so we really have to nail that, and that starts with the slate, doesn't it? It starts with that communication. One of the things I learned as an actress was that when you look in the camera, that you don't just look in the front of the camera, but you picture yourself looking through the camera to the back side and seeing that person on the other side. And that when you communicate all the way through the camera, then you actually can communicate so much more, and it connects much more much more with the audience. Correct. And with that so those are just some things too that I've learned over the years as an actress.
That's in a commercial, like, because you would look directly into camera in a commercial, obviously not in another audition. You would look just
right. Exactly.
Um, you're
What
right.
about a what about a color palette too? I mean, for many years we talked about having a color chart of colors and things that work well with us. How important is that?
Well, you never really want to wear white. I mean, like you're wearing the white, but you got the dark jacket. You never want to wear necessarily a white blouse because there's this thing, and I don't really totally understand it. But when you film somebody, it's called the white. It's a white thing. Sometimes they'll tell you to put a white
White balance.
a white balance. Thank you. A
Yep.
white piece of paper in front. But there's two things that will say: don't wear white and don't wear stripes, thin stripes, because the camera will go zhuzhy. Or even something like a chevron,
Pixelate. Yeah,
like a
it'll
pixelate.
pixelate. Yeah.
Now, florals are okay. I wear solids 90% of the time. That 10% is if I'm usually doing a period piece and I have a period dress on and it's probably floral.
Yeah.
Uh, certain things make me wear florals, but I don't wear a lot of patterns. Here, back to square one. I don't want anything to distract from this.
Yeah.
And if I'm wearing a solid, then they have no choice but to look at me. They're not worried about, oh, what is she wearing? Where does they get that? Women, whether we like to admit it, where did she get that blouse?
Yeah, I know. Or the ear, it's the earrings.
The earrings, and I have
dangle, the big earrings that dangle back and forth. Right. Yeah.
Unless the character calls for it, I don't even wear jewelry in auditions. I don't want anything to distract from that. Exactly. And you're talking about
go ahead.
Walking in the room. We only have 4 to 6 seconds to make a first impression. You're exactly right. And you want to put your best forward. And I guarantee you, if you're interviewing or auditioning, and you don't know how many times I get an online audition where they have sent me a page on how to light myself. And I'm like, really? What? Where it's 2020? Really? This is 2 years. Really? You're having to explain to people how to light themselves. And I find it just absurd, but they're doing that because they're not getting it. And if I'm a casting director or a businessman and I have all of these tapes and I can pull that first and I can see who's not lit and who's lit, I'm going to go to the lit.
Yep, that's right. And it's about the callback, isn't it? It's about the callback. You're wanting the callback. Yeah. Absolutely.
Or the second interview.
Yeah, exactly. Or the second interview. Exactly. We want to nail that job down.
Exactly.
Let's speak a little bit about practicing on Zoom and how, if we're not that familiar with it, we really do need to take some time and learning, like we were talking a little bit about clicking the view button or the audio buttons, some of those kind of things, and practicing. It's so important, isn't it?
Right, exactly. For right now, I was just checking something and I went to the view button and I was checking speaker mode just to make sure that I'm looking in the right place because I'm freaking out because I can't see myself. But it's okay. It's just me. Yes, if you go to zoom.us, or if you're in the UK.uk or wherever you are, and you go on Zoom, you can do it after you sign in, but before you even sign in, it's something that says join host. It might say schedule join host at the top right hand corner. I go to host and I go down and I hit video on, and it's going to take you as if you're launching a meeting, and you go through it just like you're launching a meeting. There's nobody on the other end but me. I set up what looks behind me. I judge where my face is going to be. I judge the lighting. I judge my makeup. I judge everything. And I will do this like today. I had this all set up this morning, and then at the last second, I decided to do this, and it totally threw everything off. And so I'm like, can I see anybody here? But and I'm sitting up a little higher than I like to be for this right now, but that's because I'm in a different chair. But I check all of that out. I used to use like a photo app that was on my computer, but I realized those were two different framings. So the Zoom shows you exactly what you're going to look like. And once everything is set, you just click leave, end meeting, and you're out and you're done. And you don't have to worry about a thing, because there's nothing more annoying than coming on a call and people doing this.
I know.
I can't
know.
stand it. I'm like, we know about the Zoom call all day. What's going on here? What's going on? And people did it because they're on a Zoom on their phone, which I'm like, really, people? And I get so upset. And if you're going to have to do a Zoom on your phone, make sure it's horizontal. It's
Yeah.
not up and down, because that just, I mean, I do a coaching with this person once a week on something else completely unrelated, and she loves doing this stuff on the phone. And I go, please, will you not just turn your phone?
Yes, exactly. You know, one of the things that I see happen a lot with, especially with women, is they will do their Zoom calls in their bedroom and you see the bed behind them. And I have a really pet peeve about that. I think it's kind of a suggestive thing, actually, to have a bed in your background. And it's hard. I mean, I have to do a lot of Zooms and things like that when I'm on the road in hotel rooms, but I will make it a point to be able to try to turn my computer in an angle so that I'm not seeing the bed. I think that is a kind of a suggestive thing to have in the background. So I would, you know, I would add that as far as a background.
I have, I don't know if we showed it on the slide, but that big ring light that we saw, that comes in a travel kit. I travel with a travel lighting kit. It's about this tall. It can sit on a desk or it can come high, but the ring is about that big. So I always have good lighting. And I literally just had to do a thing in my hotel room. Fortunately, the bed was far enough over, there was a chair, and I had to line everything up. But also, the worst case scenario, there's this wonderful thing called virtual backgrounds. I'm not a massive fan of them, definitely not for auditions. But if you're doing a business thing or you live in a small apartment and it's what it is, then a virtual background, a green screen behind you is best for virtual backgrounds. But there's some virtual backgrounds that you can do this without going. For instance, I'm going to show you right now.
Yes, and I know that you can get some of those virtual backgrounds or pictures on Unsplash.
Yes,
which is a free site if anyone is out there to that you can download free pictures on, and use as much as you want, as often as you want.
So
there you go.
I can see right now, but see, this is a good one. My hands, and I don't have a green background, but I've got a solid background behind me. But a lot of virtuals, your head goes in and out and stuff like that. And that gets very annoying. Now, if I'm on a business call, I don't want to show that I'm sitting on a beach in Tijuana. You know what I mean? So don't put the beach and the palm trees. Nobody wants to see that. If you're doing just a class or a general, that's one thing. There's also, you can get a virtual background that is just a blur, but there's also, you could just blur your background. But something as simple as that, although that's not symmetrical, or if you're in the, you know, something like that, I have, and then sometimes I like to be a diva because I want to be a star on Zoom, and there.
I love it.
So,
Yeah.
and then, you know, you can get cute, but this is one I've used often. If, for instance, I'm in my office and I don't feel like putting my backdrop up and my office is a disaster, this looks businessy enough that, and you can explore. And Unsplash, yes, does have, no, I don't want that anymore.
Some pictures.
Unsplash, yes. I'm sorry. I want to go back to none. I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay.
Actually, I might have used the other one. That looked a lot better. But Unsplash has free ones. You can also, you'd be surprised, I've done this. I've just gone on and looked at pictures and I've just moved the picture into it and uploaded it, and just a general picture behind it. It could be the picture of my own backyard or my own living room if I wanted to. My own office when it's clean. Have the clean office and the dirty office picture.
Yes.
I agree. Nobody wants to see the bed.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to see your closet. Nobody wants to see your kitchen. And there are ways to avoid that, even if all you have to do is blur your screen. And that, for those that don't know where that is in the bottom left-hand corner. It says stop video, but right next to that is a little arrow. And when you open that up, it has blur my background or choose virtual backgrounds or filters. Now, you need to put a lot of those in place. They don't, sadly, Zoom doesn't furnish you with all those wonderful things. You've got to go get some yourself. But yeah, there's no excuse.
That's a good, another tool. Well, these are all great things. I'd like to bring Ayana in at this point. So Ayana, if you want to come on in from the chat room, I know we've got lots of women that have been on with us and bringing us some wonderful questions. Thanks so much for helping us tonight and being in the chat room. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Ayana. Hi, Renee. I took so many notes. I was adjusting my computer even as you spoke. for my eyeline.
Look at your beautiful blurred background.
Had that before, but yes, but such good insight, so practical. And there were a few questions that came in. So one question, and you did really answer this, but the comment was around under the impression that having an interesting background is engaging and that's the way to do it. But it sounds like we really want to limit distractions so that when you're in these meetings, you can really get to the point of the conversation, or of course, if you're an actor. So really doing things that focus so that their eyes don't wander.
Correct. It's
Right.
all about the wandering eye.
Yes, such a good point.
Yep.
And then also going to the eye line. Is it better to be, Melissa was asking, is it better to be sitting straight up in a chair or to be leaning back slightly? When you say eye line, just to clarify it, you mean like directly as far as your eye looking directly at the camera, right? Making sure that that's directly in line.
Yes and no. Here, I'm going to do something really quick because this is driving me a little crazy right now. I'm going to turn my video off. I'm going to show you something to answer that question specifically.
I love it. I love it.
I'm going to put this dusty backdrop back up and get rid of the chair so I can highlight what that is. Okay, I'm back on again, back on video here, Ayana. Wait, where'd it go? There we go. And don't do what I'm doing. Don't show people doing this. This is not, don't ignore the person behind the curtain. Don't look at the person behind the curtain. There we go. Okay. Yes. You know, this isn't a pageant. And I say that because I did pageants for years and it was all about sitting straight and being about as uncomfortable as you could possibly be. But this isn't a pageant. So right now I happen to be sitting on my couch and I have a pillow behind me for back support. But if I'm just having a general meeting, or if you're in your chair at your office or in your desk, of course you're going to lean back. You're having a conversation. I'm leaning back now, crossing my legs, doing everything, but nothing's out of kilter, everything. So the sight line, Ayana, yes, if it's a group, it depends on where you put it. For right now, I adjusted my my computer and the table that I could look directly at Kathleen from here and it looks exactly like I'm looking right at her. But let's say there was a bunch of squares. Right now I'm looking at you, so you can see my eyes just went up a little bit, Ayana, because I put you at the top of my screen. But you're also almost dead under the actual camera. Now, earlier when we were talking and I was sitting in the chair, I couldn't really see what that looked like, and I was bummed because I was higher up than I wanted to be. So to make sure, I was trying to look at the camera dot most of the conversation with Kathleen, because I didn't want to appear looking down. And so I was kind of going back and forth from her to that camera a little bit. So correct. You can lean back and still, if all this is positioned, I can be over here. I can be doing that. You know, I can just sit and, so how y'all doing? Now I don't, and you know, if you're on your third interview, you could probably be a little bit more relaxed. I mean, if you call your doctor, you get those doctor calls and you call your doctor, he's going to sit back in his chair. He's a doctor. And because he doesn't know these things, he just, poor pitiful pearls, you know, we just have to. But when you call your doctor, you're not looking at the background because you want to know if you're well. So it doesn't matter about that. But yeah, so.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is look at somebody's chin or the.
You don't want to see all this. You don't want to see all of this. No.
For sure.
You also don't want to look up your nose hairs.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a desktop, it's already up, and sometimes that's great. Some people, I know so many people that have those tables that go up and down, and they like to stand to do a lot of their work, and so they have their desktop, and that's great, you know. So
yes, I love that. And it is dependent on the type of meeting you're having, right? If it's the third interview, it's just kind of a different setup than maybe the first or the audition with the casting director.
Correct.
Amazing. And would you be willing, there was an ask of just to see the camera setup that you told us about having the
okay, do not look at anything beyond this. I'm going to try to move this chair. Yes, I'm going to show it to you because, like I said, for this type of thing, I have all this up because this is a webinar. Two of the lights would probably be gone. The square lights, if I was just doing a generic Zoom call. But if I do an audition, most of this is up with the backdrop. Okay. Oh Lord, y'all don't look at my house here.
Well,
Okay.
I'm with you. I have the ring light going in front of me. I've got the square light going behind me. So
Oh.
I'm right with you there. But yeah,
All of that.
yep.
Yes. Yeah, we see the box lights and the
And that's the
ring.
little counter thing I've got.
Yep.
Now that also another thing, this is a stand. This is not a TV tray. You can get these computers, I call them computer stands. I don't know what they call them, but it's like a table and it will go up and down. And I
Yeah.
use it especially for auditions because sadly you can't always get a human to read your lines. So I do a ton of auditions with somebody Zooming me or FaceTiming me on my computer or Skyping. And I put the computer behind my ring light, which is behind the camera. Some people don't. It depends on, some people literally could care less because I want to see the person. Okay. And so some people don't. I know a mentor of mine has his way over there and he spots on a wall and he looks at that. I would be going, what did you say? So I don't do it, but I use this table and it holds my laptop behind the ring light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that. All of the specific links on what to actually purchase. That is so valuable.
And it adds to your confidence, doesn't it? I mean,
Oh.
I think when it comes down to it, when we have these things available to us, we were set, then we can be confident in how we're auditioning and that job that we're going after or the clients that we're wanting to bring into our business. It has a lot to do with solidifying our confidence. And I love how God calls us to be confident people, that we're to be the Esthers out there, right? Prepared. Before she went before the king, she had to prepare herself and know what to say, know how to present herself, know how to act, what's the protocols. And this is the new life we're living in right now, and the confident way that God calls us to be as Christians working in the industry today.
Exactly. 100%.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Last question, one more, and then
One more question, and then I'm going to throw something in.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And then this is a question regarding auditioning. As far as how do we follow the chat in a professional way? Or if I have to take a moment to write something, or either my eyes wandering on the screen, how do we make sure that the act of writing ultimately in these Zooms is not distracting? Any recommendations in that regard?
I just want to clarify your question. Do you mean reading the chat, or do you mean I am writing notes as someone? I didn't understand what you meant.
I believe it's writing notes in a Zoom, or for both.
But what I'm saying is, it would be no different if you're in the room.
Mm-hmm.
If you were in the room, you're going to write notes. You have to look down. If you're people know that you're taking questions. For instance, if I was doing something and I had to take questions from the chat, which I have done, I have to look at the chat. There's nothing to get around that. People know that. That's okay. As long as all this is in place, people understand I'm going to read the chat. I'm watching How to Follow in Chat Professional Way. If you have to take a moment to write something, then you write something. They expect you to write things down. Some people do. I'm seeing the question now up here from Melissa, and I'm like, and you have to do it with your thumb. If you're writing it on the phone, that's expected. That is perfectly fine. I know some people, there's a woman I coach with, like I said, for something else related, and she has the Zoom on her phone, but she's typing on her computer the whole time. And she's also referencing things on her computer that she wants to bring into the moment. I understand that, but she will often says, I'm listening to you, I'm just writing. Yes. Just let people know. Communication is key. And, you just have to, and if you want to do a slideshow presentation, that just comes under share screen. And for those of you, I want to mention that really quick. At the very bottom of your screen, there's a little dot that says share screen. So have all this, preparation is key. Make sure whatever you're sharing, you have already opened the file or it's sitting there on desktop already, ready to go. Because they don't at least have the file on your desktop. So all you have to do is click and play. You don't want to have to go searching through your documents or your downloads, because basically you're letting the whole world see your personal life, so we don't really need to see that.
Being professional and being prepared, like Kathleen just said.
Right. Now, I want to mention something really quick, and forgive me, Kathleen, if I jumped the gun.
No, go on.
Anybody wants, this has been far more detailed, and I'm in the process of writing a very detailed book, but I have a mini, MINI, ebook on my website, thespeakerscoach.net. And at the very bottom, you can fill out and download Be a Star on Zoom. And it gives you these basics. I do it in kind of actor terminology for fun, but this totally relates to any professional doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. It doesn't really matter. But I also do, I've just seen someone in the thing about, working with professionals on their speaking skills. You can find out all that information. I don't have any appointments up there at this moment, but if you give me your email, I will reach out if you'd like it. So I didn't want to.
What's that website again? One more time, Renee.
The
website again. Your
speakerscoach.net. I don't even remember. THESPEAKERSCOACH.net.
Yes, speakerscoach.net.
Correct. And then there's a book at the very bottom. It's an ebook. It's a very easy read. I tried to add some humor in there. I didn't do a lot of humor, but I tried to put some humor in there. And, but like I said, there's even a whole lot more that I haven't even covered today. But these, let me tell you, what we have said today it's the Bible before, it's the Bible, it's the basics, it's the foundation.
Foundation. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Renee. This has been so enlightening, and you're always so fun to be around. You're our Southern belle. And
yes, honey, I am. Everybody watch Tennessee beat Georgia on Sunday.
Yes. Southern belle, and you're so much fun to have around. We so appreciate everything you do for Influence Women, being on our advisory board. You always keep us in stitches all the time. For joining us today for this Influence Women's webinar. We know that you have lots of things in your schedule and your time is valuable, and so we're always honored when you can join us. We hope that you will encourage others to come along and join us. You can get all the information about the upcoming events and webinars on the website at influencewomen.org. Join us on social media as well and stay connected. We'll see you next time for the next Influence Women's webinar.